Hello, hi everyone. 11th day of 30 days reading challenge. Today I am reading Crime and Punishment. I am on the second part of that book, page number 184. So let's start. You must go to bed at once, he pronounced, examining the patient as far as he could and take something for the night. Will you take it? I got it ready some time ago. A powder. Two, if you like, answered Raskolnikov. The powder was taken at once. It's good thing you are taking him home, observed Zosimov to Razumohin. We shall see he we shall see how he is tomorrow. Today he is not at all amiss. A considerable change since the afternoon. Live and learn. Do you know what Zosimov whispered to me when we were coming out. Razumohin blurted out as soon as they were in the street. I won't tell you everything, brother, because they are such fools. Josimov told me to talk freely to you on the way and get you to talk freely to me. And afterwards, I am to tell him about it, for he's got a notion in his head that you are mad or close on it. Only fancy. In the first place, you have three times the brain he has. In the second, if you are not mad, you need not care a hang that he has got such a wild idea. And thirdly, that piece of beef whose specialty is surgery has gone mad on mental disease. And what's brought him to his conclusion about you, as your conversation today with Zametov. Zametov told you all about it? Yes, and he did well. Now I understand what it means, and so does Zametov. Well, the fact is, Rodia, the point is, I am a little drunk now, but that's no matter. The point is that this idea, you understand, was just being hatched in their brains. You understand. That is, no one ventured to say it aloud because the idea is too absurd, and especially since the since the arrest of that painter, that bubbles burst and gone forever. But why are they such fools? I gave Zametov a bit of thrashing at that time. That's between ourselves, brother. Please don't let out a hint that you know of it. I've noticed he is ticklish. He is a ticklish subject. It was Alois Ivanova, but today it's all cleared up. That Ilya Petrovich is at the bottom of it. He took advantage of your fainting at the police station, but he is ashamed of it himself now. I know that. Raskolnikov listened greedily. Razumohin was drunk enough to talk too freely. I fainted then because it was so close the smell and the smell of paint, said Raskolnikov. No need to explain that. And it wasn't the paint only. The fever had been coming on for a month. Zosimov testifies to that. But how crushed that boy is now, you wouldn't believe. I am not worth his little finger, he said. Yours, he means. He has good feelings at times, brother, but the lesson you gave him today in the Palace de Crystal, that was too good for anything. You frightened him at first, you know. He nearly went into convulsions. You almost convinced him again of the truth of all hideous nonsense, and then you suddenly put out your tongue at him. There now, what do you make of it? It was perfect. He is crushed and highlighted now. It was mastered by Zoo. It's what they deserve. Ah, that I wasn't there. I he was hoping to see you awfully, profilely too wants to make your acquaintance. Ah, he too. But why did why did they put me down as oh not mad. I must have said too much better. What struck him, you see, was that only that subject seems to interest you. Now it's clear why it did interest you. Knowing all the circumstances, the flow that irritated you and worked in with your illness. I am a little drunk, brother only. Confound him, he has some idea of his own. I tell you he is mad on the man. But don't you mind him. For half a minute both were silent. Listen, Razumohin, began Raskolnikov. I want to tell you plainly. I have just been at a deathbed. A clerk who died. I gave them all my money. And besides, I have just been kissed by someone who, if I had killed anyone, would just see. In fact, I saw someone else there with a flame colored feather. But I am talking nonsense. I am very weak. Support me. We shall be at stairs directly. What's the matter? What's the matter with you? Razumohin asked anxiously. I am a little giddy, but that's not the point. I am so sad, like a woman. Look, what's that? Look, look. What is it? Don't you see a light in my room? You see, through the crack. They were already at the foot of the last flight of stairs, at the level of the landlady's door, and they could, as a fact, see from below that there was a light in Raskolnikov's garret. Queer. Nasya, perhaps, observed Razumohin. She is never in my room at this time, and she must be in bed long ago. But I don't care. Goodbye. What do you mean? I am coming with you. We will come in together. I know we are going in together, but I want to shake hands here and say goodbye to you here. So give me your hand. Goodbye. What's the matter with you, Rodia? Nothing. Come along. You shall be witness. They began mounting the stairs, and the idea struck Razumohin that perhaps Zomisov might be right after all. Ah, I upset him with my chat, he muttered to himself. When they reached the door, they heard the voices in the room. What is it? Cried Razumohin. Raskolnikov was the first to open the door. He flung it wide and stood still in the doorway, dumbfounded. His mother and sisters were sitting on his sofa and had been waiting an hour and a half for him. Why had he never expected, never thought of them? Though the news that they had started, were on their way and would arrive immediately, had been repeated to him only at that day. They had spent that hour and a half playing Nasya with cushions. She was standing before them and had told them everything they know. They are beside themselves with alarm when they heard of this running away today, and they understood from her story, delirious. Good heavens, what had become of him? Both had been weeping, both had been in anguish for that hour and a half. A cry of joy, of ecstasy, greeted Raskolnikov's entrance. Both rushed at him, but he stood like one dead. A sudden, intolerable sensation struck him like a thunderbolt. He did not lift his arm to embrace them. He could not. His mother and sister clasped him in their arms, kissed him, laughed, and cried. He took a step, tottered, and fell to the ground, fainting. Anxiety, cries of horror once. Razumohin, who was standing in the doorway, flew into the room, seized the sick man in his strong arms, and in a moment had him on the sofa. It's nothing, nothing, he cried to the mother and sister. It's only a faint, a mere trifle. Only just now the doctor said he was much better, that he is perfectly well. Water, see, he is coming to himself. He is all right again. And seizing Donia by arm so that he almost dislocated it. He made her bend down to see that he is all right again. His mother and sister looked on him with emotions and gratitude as their providers. They had heard already from Nasir all that had been done for their Rodia during his illness. By this very competent young man, as Pulcheria Alexandrovna Raskolnikov called him that evening in the conversation with Dunya.